Days before the engagement party, a freak accident turned my apartment into an inferno. The windows blew out, sending shards of glass flying like shrapnel into my back. My best friend, Jax Harper, shielded me as we scrambled out of the fire. In the ER, while I drifted in and out of consciousness, Jax called my fiancée, Dr. Elena. Her response was dismissive. Julian has a stomach ache. I'm staying with him while he gets in for drip. Nothing major. I'm hanging up. Jax, furious, unleashed a string of expletives before calling his own girlfriend, Chloe Sterling, to ask for help finding a specialist. Stop being dramatic, Jax, she sighed. Julian isn't feeling well. I'm finding him a holistic healer. When I finally clawed my way back from death's door and locked eyes with Jax, I whispered, I want to call off the engagement. Jax didn't hesitate. If you're out, I'm out. As it turned out, both women panicked. Jax was a man of action. He immediately texted Chloe a breakup notice. I, however, was still bedridden. Post-surgery, I wasn't out of the woods yet. Several shards had pierced dangerously deep. Jax was the only one by my side, nursing his own minor burns. We were truly brothers in arms. The next day was the engagement party. I was still in the ICU, so naturally, I didn't show up. Elena called me, her opening words an accusation. Mason Cole, did you do this on purpose? Just because I sat with Julian yesterday, you're pulling a no-show today? Do you have any idea how many guests are here? My throat was parched. I coughed painfully to clear it. I'm in the hospital. I can't make it. I told you. Mason, that excuse is played out. Enough is enough. Where are you? I'll come get you. I'm at City General. Come if you want. Mason, Elena snapped. Don't you dare regret this. The party starts in an hour. Don't be late. Beside me, Jax exploded. He snatched the phone. Regret this? Go to hell. Are you too deaf and blind? He said he's in the hospital. Julian's tummy ache has you both spinning. Is he your dad or something? You're waiting on him hand and foot. The line went dead. Jax wasn't done venting. He was pacing the room, fuming. Just then, Chloe called Jax. Jax, where are you? It's the rehearsal dinner. I sent you the location. Are you playing games with me? Jax's competitive spite flared up. He put her on speaker and let loose. Rehearsal my ass. Chloe, I broke up with you last night. A good ex should stay dead and buried. You want to see me? I'll buy flowers for your tombstone. Chloe was sputtering with rage. You? Jax, don't you regret this? Fine, we're done. Jax blocked her number before she could say another word, then patted his chest. Ihon let me know. You wait until you're stronger, or they'll just stress you out. I couldn't help but chuckle. Thank God for Jax. My absence apparently cost Elena her reputation. She called repeatedly, but I didn't answer. Eventually, I silenced the phone. I ignored her texts. After 3 missed calls, she sent an ultimatum. Mason, you are being incredibly selfish and ignoring the big picture. I didn't reply. The engagement was entirely the Ross family's show anyway. My parents, divorced and remarried, paid my bills but weren't emotionally invested. I told them to cancel their flights after the accident. Elena wouldn't listen, and I was done begging for her attention. I just didn't expect her to hire a stand-in for the ceremony. Apparently, she really didn't care about dignity. While my bandages were being changed, 2 nurses were gossiping. Dr. Ross got engaged today. Her fiancé is so handsome, a total soft boy type. She's so lucky. Look, here's a photo. I glanced up. The photo showed Elena and Julian Hayes. They stood together, her head resting on his shoulder, beaming. They looked like a perfect match. I blinked, and the nurse noticed. Did I hurt you? I'll be gentler. My eyes were stinging. Yeah, it hurts. Almost couldn't handle it. Jax squeezed my hand. I shook my head at him. It's okay. I'm not afraid of pain. The physical pain was sharp, but compared to what Elena had done, it was nothing. When we were alone, Jax tried to comfort me. They're a match made in hell. Ignore them. And Chloe, that idiot, she called me bragging about making clam chowder. I'm allergic to shellfish. I've told her 1,000 times. We're broken up. Is she insane? I laughed. She just doesn't care. If it were someone else, she'd remember. Jax sighed. Forget her. Check this out. He handed me his tablet. There's this streamer doing street interviews, giving people mystery machi. The fillings are weird. It's hilarious. He found a live stream. The random passerby was none other than his busy ex, Chloe. Here's a machi. After you eat it, give a shout out. Chloe took a bite of sour plum one, her face twisting, but she forced a smile. I hope the next person gets the rose filling. And I hope that person is you, Julian. Go, Julian. She made a heart with her hands. I tried to swipe away, but Jax stopped me. He started spamming the chat. You know Julian loves rose filling, but you can't remember your own boyfriend has a deadly seafood allergy. His comment got buried quickly, but I told him We don't need them in our lives. However, the streamer had 4 million followers. Chloe was recognized. Isn't that the Sterling heiress? Julian is a lucky guy to be blessed by Miss Sterling. Wow. The internet loved it, calling Julian the winner. Julian himself posted a photo on Instagram. Got the rose mochi. Happiness is getting exactly what you wish for. The photo showed the pastry, with Chloe sitting right next to him. Simp, Jack sneered. I laughed out loud. He was right. Both women revolved around Julian. I wonder who the real winner was. Or maybe neither of them were. I didn't care. Today, Elena got engaged to Julian. As far as I was concerned, we were finished. I planned to return her expensive gifts the moment I was discharged. I wouldn't owe her anything. 48 hours later, I was moved to a standard room. The attending physician shook his head while checking my chart. You're lucky to be alive, son. Shrapnel in the pericardium. A fraction deeper and you'd be gone. You need to keep your stress levels down. No emotion la agitación. Thanks, Doc. As soon as he left, the landline rang. It was an internal hospital extension. I answered without thinking. You saw the news, right? If Julian hadn't stepped in, the engagement party would have been a disaster. Stop throwing a tantrum and come back. I laughed, dry and bitter. Elena, I can't come back. What do you want from me? Her voice rose. I told my parents that even if you didn't show, I still choose you. If you keep acting out, we're really done. Elena, did you ever trust me? The fire, the explosion. I'm still in a hospital. If you cared even a little, you'd have seen the news reports. Elena scoffed. You're just mad I went with Julian to get his 4, so now you're claiming you're in the hospital too? Fine. Which hospital? Which doctor? I took a deep breath. City General. Surgical wing, room 24. My attending is still on the floor. Fine. Wait there. I'm coming. Elena was the chief of surgery at this very hospital. She knew exactly which patients were on her floor, but because she wasn't my attending and she'd been obsessed with the engagement, she hadn't realized I was right under her nose. 30 minutes later, Elena arrived. Julian was with her. People in the hallway recognized them immediately. I leaned back, eyes closed, listening to the exaggerated cheers outside. Dr. Ross brought her fiancé. So sweet. He's even handsomer in person. I opened my eyes. The irony was suffocating. They didn't know the fiancé was a temp. Whatever. I had broken up with her. Outside, Julian sounded smug, soaking up the unearned praise. Thank you all for taking care of my Elena. I ordered bubble tea for the whole floor. Julian announced. Oh wow. Dr. Ross, your fiancé is handsome and kind. The praise had Julian beaming. He walked into my room with Elena on his arm, his face full of triumph, his eyes provocative. Elena, however, looked stunned to see me actually in a hospital bed. Seeing I was in a private room, she frowned. Do you know how limited beds are in the surgical wing? You're wasting public resources just to spite me. Spite you? I looked at her with pure exhaustion. Elena, you aren't the center of the universe. I'm done with you. He's your fiancé now. Are you two here to mark your territory? In that case, I continued, I wish the bitch and the dog a happy forever. Elena exploded. You dare curse at me? Apologize. I stared her down. Apologize? Impossible. Elena was fuming. Julian tugged at her arm, playing the peacemaker. Don't, Elena. Mason is just angry. He's sick. Let's not hold against him. I bet he's faking the severity, though. Who's the doctor playing along with this charade? I looked at him coldly. Elena, are you done? You are my doctor. I agreed to the breakup. Why are you still harassing me? Two-timing isn't a good look. Elena raised her hand and swung hard. I dodged and slammed the nurse call button. Then, seeing her shock, I slapped her back. A crisp, loud sound. Julian gasped, rushing to cradle Elena's face. How could you? She came to visit you out of kindness. She struck first. I didn't invite you. I shook my hand out. Elena's lip quivered, a red handprint blooming on her cheek. Get out, I said. I don't want to look at you. They refused to leave. Elena stared at me with fury, but then the attending physician rushed in. Seeing the monitors, he panicked. I told you no agitation. Your vitals are spiking. The alarm on the monitor was screaming. The doctor turned to see Elena and froze. Dr. Ross, who hit you? The handprint was obvious. He looked between us, confused. Elena frowned. You're his doctor? Is he actually injured? Yes. Severe trauma. Explosion, glass shrapnel in the chest cavity, near the heart. We operated for 10 hours to save him. He cannot be stressed. The doctor turned to me. Who got you this worked up? I leaned back, pointing my chin at Elena. Her. She barged in, calling me a waste of resources. Dr. Ross, don't you owe me an apology? The doctor was stunned. Elena's face went pale, guilt finally flickering in her eyes. Julian jumped in. It's a misunderstanding. Elena just didn't believe you were hurt. Besides, how did your room catch fire? I raised an eyebrow. How did you know my room caught fire? I hadn't mentioned the cause. Julian turned white. I just guessed. I laughed coldly. Julian stammered. Even if you don't want to see her, you shouldn't have hit her. So, I should let her hit me? I scoffed. Elena, when I called you dying, you told me to stop faking it, because you had to hold Julian's hand for a stomach ache. A stomach ache that apparently needed 3 days of bedside care. Elena was silent. The doctor looked mortified. Dr. Ross, I have rounds. He looked at me seriously. Mason, calm down. Please. I nodded. If I get agitated, defending myself helps release the stress, right? The doctor stumbled. Sure, just don't overdo it. He fled. Julian looked at me, a sneer barely hidden. Mason, I know you hate me, but I didn't mean for this to happen. Elena was just being a good friend. He was testing me. I looked at Elena. Can you leave? I'm sorry. I looked up surprised. Elena was apologizing. Even Julian looked shocked. I'm sorry I ignored you. I thought you were lying. I always thought you hated Julian unreasonably, so I... Stop. I cut her off. Too little too late. I've broken up with you. Don't disturb me again. You're the publicly recognized couple now. I smirked. I saved all the videos and photos. If you bother me, I'll release them. Elena didn't get angry. I'll make it up to you. I scoffed. Who wanted her charity? I looked at Julian, who was glaring at me. I reached for the call button again. Leave, or I call security. You don't want to be exposed as a homewrecker. Julian seethed, but pulled Elena. Elena, let's go. He needs rest. He's not a homewrecker. Elena defended. He acted like one. Every time it was me or him, you chose him. Julian, you knew she was my girlfriend, yet you clung to her. Are you an orphan looking for a mother? Julian's eyes welled up. How can you say that? I watched his performance with disgust. I used to fight for her attention like a maniac. I was tired. I don't want you anymore. Get out. Julian gritted his teeth. Elena, let's go. Let him cool off. Elena wouldn't budge. I'm not leaving. Don't embarrass yourself. I snapped. I know I was wrong, but the engagement date was set. If I didn't have a fiancé there, how would I look? Julian just helped me out. I told everyone you were stuck overseas. So you couldn't postpone it? The Ross family certainly has the power to do that. I opened my eyes. Elena, what makes you think I'll be waiting for you? Get out or I call the cops. I pressed the button. This time, it wasn't the doctor. It was Jax. He had returned with food. Seeing them, he didn't hesitate. He took the lid off the cup of hot soup he was holding and splashed it right at them. Scumbags, you dare show your faces. Julian shrieked as the hot liquid hit him. You're crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy. Where was your stomach ache when he was dying in a fire? Elena, while he was bleeding out, what were you doing? Playing nurse to a fraud. Get out. Get the hell out. Jax roared, his voice carrying into the hall. He dragged a dripping, humiliated Julian out of the room. The onlookers were shocked. Even Elena was stunned, but she took it. I'll come back another day. Don't bother. You're engaged to him now. Why harass Mason? Jax shouted for the whole floor to hear. Mason was blind to ever love you. You abandoned him for this guy at your own engagement party, and now you want forgiveness? When Mason called you from the ambulance, you were holding this guy's hand for a foredrip. Go live your life with him and get lost. Jax aired all their dirty laundry right there in the corridor. The way the nurses looked at Elena shifted instantly. Elena, stubborn as ever, yelled back into the room, Mason, I'll be in my office if you need anything. Julian looked at her in disbelief. You're staying? Mason is my responsibility too. Julian, go home. Jax laughed bitterly. Hear that? You're just a stand-in. But hey, Mason isn't a recycling bin. We don't want trash back. You can keep him. Jax turned to the crowd. If she harasses us again, I'm filing a formal complaint against this hospital. The staff looked nervous. Elena, a respected chief surgeon, was being publicly eviscerated. She grabbed Julian and retreated to avoid further scene. I should have slapped him, Jax grumbled, wiping his hands. Wasted good soup. Should have bought the scalding hot coffee instead. I laughed and gave him thumbs up. Nice throw. You didn't see Julian's face. He wanted to hit me, but was too scared. I've been waiting to punch him for years. Jax noticed the mark on Elena's face. You hit her. I nodded. Legend, he grinned. That's my brother. Jax made me feel lighter, but Elena's audacity was nauseating. She acted like nothing had happened. Meanwhile, Jax was dealing with Chloe. Someone had uploaded the video of Jax yelling at Elena and Julian. Internet sleuths identified them and connected the dots to Chloe. The pure love warrior Narrative around Chloe and Julian collapsed. Comment poured in disgusting. Simping for a guy who has a fiancé. How was a rose machi? Hope it was worth losing your self-respect. Who gets a stand-in for an engagement? If my fiancé is hurt, I cancel the party. Chloe was getting destroyed online. Chloe tried to damage control by asking Jax to get back together. Jax posted her old texts where she bashed him for not prioritizing Julian. The backlash intensified. She even tried to get Jax's boss to pressure him. Jax quit on the spot and went to Chloe's office, live streaming. Chloe Sterling, you truly have no shame. You worship Julian, but now that he's bad press, you dump him? You're a narcissist. We broke up. Stop stalking me. Then, he turned to the camera, addressing the powerful Sterling family directly. And honestly, the Sterling legacy is a joke if this is the best you've got. Your main account is bricked. You'd better hurry up and roll a smurf account before it's too late, instead of letting a brainless failure like her tank the family stock price. Or I release everything from the last few years. The Sterling family, sensing a PR disaster, forced Chloe onto a plane to Europe to let the heat die down. She was determined to win Jax back, but he refused to engage. I was getting annoyed. Elena used her hospital access to force her way into my care routine. I ignored her, scrolling on my phone while she read my charts. Elena, this is pointless. No, she said stiffly. I ignored you before. I will make it up to you now. I'll come every day. What about Julian? I asked. He's your fiancé. I told you he was just helping. The only son-in-law my parents recognize is you. I laughed. Talk about this? I said. I wanted to end the engagement. My parents agreed. Elena grabbed an apple and started peeling it aggressively, slicing away half the fruit. You used to call me complaining about unfairness, and I ignored you, she muttered. I thought you were jealous of Julian, but I realized the problem wasn't Julian. It was me. She looked at me with hope. I took the apple from her. Elena, have you considered that you just enjoyed having two men fight over you? You don't love me. No, that's not true. If you love me, why am I here? I gestured to the room. Her shoulders slumped. Don't come back. I'm being discharged tomorrow. No, she whispered. Let's end it with some dignity, I said, or I'll make you regret it. I realized I didn't need to compete for her attention. I was Mason Cole. I didn't need to be a beggar for love. Elena didn't get it. She thought I was just hurt and acting out. When she refused to leave me alone, I posted the engagement photos myself. I tagged her, Dr. Ross, I know you're busy, but please stop harassing me. I filed a formal complaint with the hospital board. She had let the internet believe Julian was her fiancé to save face. Now, I let the internet know the truth. The story blew up. She knew he was the side piece, and still did it? Time management expert. What kind of psycho hires a stunt double for a wedding? The hospital suspended Elena, pending an investigation. After discharge, Jax and I moved into a new apartment together. Jax laughed, showing me his phone. I gained 300K followers from that rant. Brands want to hawk stuff. Should I? Why not? Make that money. We need a fresh start. True. I'm done with the Sterlings. What about Elena? I sighed. Elena was obsessive. She found her new place. She camped out downstairs. I wouldn't open the door, so she stood there until late at night, chain smoking. I watched the cherry of her cigarette glow in the dark through the window. She never used to smoke. Surgeon's hands were too precious. Now she was addicted. I took a photo and sent it to Julian. Mason, you proud? Come collect your girl, or I'll ruin you completely. Terrified, I had more evidence. Julian arrived in 30 minutes. I watched from the window as they argued on the sidewalk. Elena looked up, locking eyes with me. I closed the curtains. A while later, they were gone. I didn't see Elena after that. I heard her reputation tanked. Patients complained about her lack of empathy. The hospital demoted her to archives, a cold bench for a star surgeon. From high-flying chief to a basement clerk. She couldn't handle the drop and started drinking heavily. I didn't care. Jax and I cleared out the apartment, packing for the airport. We planned to travel, maybe find a new city to call home. Seattle held too many bad memories. At the airport, we saw a commotion. It was Chloe. The Sterling family security was dragging her toward a gate. She saw Jax and screamed, trying to break free. Her father slapped her across the face. You embarrassed us enough. Go to Europe and stay there. Jax! Jax! She screamed his name until they muffled her and dragged her onto the jetway. Jax watched stone-faced. The Sterlings offered Julian $5 million to disappear, he told me. Greedy bastard took the money but kept contacting her. That's why they're shipping her off. I should have asked for a cut of that money. We laughed and headed to our gate. Just before boarding, I got a text from Elena. Mason, you'll never forgive me, will you? I broke your heart. I'll use action to show my repentance. Crazy. I snapped my phone shut. We landed in our layover city, and Jax grabbed my arm in the hotel shuttle. Holy SHD, Mason. Look, he shoved his phone in my face. The headline was gruesome. Disgraced surgeon attacks fiancé. Elena had gone to Julian's house. In a drunken rage, or maybe a moment of twisted clarity, she had smashed a large window and forced Julian's face into the jagged remains. The report said she was screaming about how he ruined her life. Julian was disfigured, irreversibly. Elena, using her surgical knowledge, had inflicted deep, precise wounds. He would never be the pretty boy again. She was arrested but released on psychiatric grounds. The Sterling family, realizing Julian had destroyed their daughter's life too, didn't intervene to help him. But it didn't end there. On the day Julian was released from the hospital, bandaged and ruined, Elena returned. She bypassed security and set fire to his apartment complex. The news report was chilling. Consumed by the flames, Julian, severely burned and broken, didn't try to run. In a final act of despair, he dragged her down into the inferno with him. It was a mutual destruction. Jax and I sat in silence for a moment, the weight of it settling. Then, the shuttle driver announced our stop. We grabbed our bags. The air in this new city was crisp and clean. The scenery ahead was going to be much better. Story complete.